Hi, everybody. Welcome to Table Talk. This is Kim, and this is.
Dave.
Okay, so Dave is here to co host with me today because Brant went to the bathroom and never came back. So Dave stepped in. He wanted to help out. So, Dave, what are we going to talk about today?
What's going on, Kim? Dave, what are you guys doing?
Well, you went to the restroom and you said you were coming back and you never came back, and Dave wanted to co host with me.
I'm gonna choke that chicken. Come on, Dave.
Dave. What?
Get. I know. Even had him.
He needed to be
Okay,
comfortable.
table talk is here, and now what were you guys talking about?
Well, you didn't even give him a chance to start. He wanted to be a part of the show, and you took too long in the restroom, and there
That's
you go.
ridiculous. You guys trying to get me out of a podcast.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So, anyway, so Brant, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I thought today we were gonna kind of preview our Twitter Tuesday, but today we're gonna kind of go through what's trending out there, and let's talk about some of those topics.
Well, let's do that.
One thing I want to talk about. I mean, I've been hearing it. I saw it on Jimmy Kimmel, and we're hearing all about it. And you're an ex-New Yorker, so I want to talk about the mustard pizza.
You've been talking about that all day.
That's bananas, right? Who does that?
Well, it sounds kind of disgusting to me.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that much mustard being used on anything.
Well, it's the mustard's being used instead of the sauce. That's
what I'm
ridiculous.
saying. Usually it's a lot of sauce.
And I love mustard. You know.
I like mustard, but come on pizza.
Well, you saw it. So is it like a?
Well,
Is it a pizza? Or not really.
It actually is. It's pizza dough. It's like Sicilian. It's a square piece of dough,
Okay.
and they put mustard all over it. Then they place corned beef pieces, little chunks of corned beef, and then they cover that with sauerkraut.
That sounds like a Reuben.
Exactly.
It does, right?
It does.
Yeah.
And then they add on the mozzarella cheese.
Well, I'm not going to blame New York City for that because it started, I think, in Detroit. And they were kind of debuting it in New York City. But I'm like, not my cup of tea.
Okay, well, Jimmy took a bite, and
He said he liked it.
yeah, he said it was good.
Yeah.
But his cousin did not agree. So, more than likely, from the sounds of it, I probably agree with the cousin.
Yeah. So
It's nothing that I would want to.
But would you try it?
Probably not.
I would. I would try
I
it.
know you would.
I would.
You try everything.
Well, yeah, because you never know. I can't. I've tried a lot of things that, I didn't. Even restaurants, right, or
Right.
all kind of different things that I didn't think that I was gonna like, and I'm like, okay, bam, got it. That's me.
Right.
I'm gonna do it again.
I'm middle of the road when it comes to that. So, if it sounds good, then I'll try it. But if it's something that it doesn't make sense to me, I'm not sticking that in my mouth.
Okay, so for now, Kim is not going to be trying the mustard pizza. So,
Exactly.
if anybody out there that has tried the mustard pizza, I would love a comment or two.
Exactly. I would love to
I
know
would love
how
to
many
hear.
people like that.
I would like to see the thumbs up or thumbs down on if you like the mustard pizza.
All right.
What about my boy Joe Rogan? Hits it out of the park again on his podcast.
I don't know if you'd
I
call
love
it
him.
hitting it out of the park.
That
but-
was hilarious. Did you see that?
right. Yes.
Oh my God, Elon Musk! I think your stock just went down 5%. No, well, you know that he's been doing a lot of. I love Elon Musk.
I know.
Only because he's an innovator. He doesn't have a ceiling on his thought process.
Right. Exactly.
He comes up with things and does things.
Anything is possible with him.
How many people, start the electric car business like he did, at a luxury level, and then, flies rockets to the moon and makes money at it? That's
Right,
ridiculous, right?
Right.
Pretty amazing.
He's even had some things. How should I say this? He's tried things that he didn't think anyone would be interested in, and
Right.
they just fly off the shelves. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just amazing.
No,
So,
it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, he is a pioneer. He's a pioneer of our times. There's no question about that. Him and a few other people. But, him smoking the blunt,
Exactly, I know.
that was crazy. I loved it.
All right, well.
I loved it. I thought that was a hilarious podcast.
Well,
So, anything that you've
to
seen?
each his own, I guess.
I know, right? No, listen, it's a little crazy. I get it, but hey, man, I thought it was pretty wild. I thought it was pretty cool. I wouldn't do it, but I thought it was great. I did.
Would you not do that?
No, I'm in a state that hasn't legalized it yet, so no, I will not do that.
Oh, wow.
If it was legal, would I? Stay tuned for that.
Right.
Stay tuned. I got
Right. You know what I find funny?
what?
The fact that we've been together for so many years and you still believe that I have never tried it.
I know. Yeah.
That's so funny. It's like you just
There's
don't
like
believe
no way you grew up in the 60s and 70s
Never
and
tried
haven't
it.
one time
Not once.
inhaled
Not one
a
time.
marijuana cigarette.
No one in this world could ever say they saw me try it. Never, ever. Never.
Right.
I know no one ever believes that, but no, I had no desire to try it.
Yeah, I hope my
First of
parents
all,
are not
it doesn't
listening.
smell good, so why would I try that?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But you know what? I was a kid that, I was an athlete, you know what I mean? But I was an experimenter, like so many kids in my generation, and yeah, I tried it, but really it wasn't for me. I was an athlete, so when I'm about 80, it might be for me, though, all my aches and pains, you know what I mean?
What a good excuse.
That'd be
a
that'd
good
be awesome.
excuse. Our great
That'd be awesome.
excuse, Brant.
That'd be
Great
awesome.
excuse.
Okay. So
Anyway.
what else you want to talk about
Okay,
that's trending right now?
Okay, so you were talking to me today about this I forgot what it's called. It's makeup.
Uh-huh.
And
What they're doing on Instagram.
it's kind of crazy to me how they're taking parts of Instagram and I guess they're copying it and pasting it on their face, and it's part of their makeup. And it just looks really wild and crazy to me. I don't think that's anything that I will partake in,
Yeah.
So
It's just like, I don't know, social media's changed everything. You know what I mean? So they kind of do it for that. Just like, the hot water challenge and all kind of, ice bucket challenge. There's always something out there, right? And now
Right.
this is for,
well, the
it's not a challenge,
the hot
but it's for
water challenge was just
retarded.
who in their right mind would think that would be okay?
Several people went to the hospital.
Okay, but you could die from that.
Yeah.
So
My dad always had a saying that I never forgot growing up, son. If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Yeah, it's like, are you serious? But he said it more with a son,
Right.
a little bit more of a southern
No,
accent.
but it's very true.
Yeah.
When you do dumb things, there is a serious consequence to it.
Yeah.
So that becomes silly. But what can you do?
Yeah.
I want to touch base though on something a little bit more serious. The police officer that killed the guy in his own apartment.
That one in Dallas.
Now, normally I don't say you're right, but you were right
I'm always right.
when we were trying to figure it out because it was so crazy. It was such a crazy story.
Yeah.
We were trying to piece it together and figure out exactly what happened because I like to do my detective work.
Yeah.
But this time, you hit it right on the head.
I can't believe I'm getting a you were right
Right.
story.
No. Well, I still don't know all the details, but I
Right.
know basically what they were saying is, okay, for those of you who don't know the story, there was a man who was in his apartment, a police officer, which was a female. She came home.
After work.
She said it was after work.
Right.
She was in uniform, and she said that she entered the wrong apartment, mistakenly thinking it was hers, and he was killed. So right then I was like, that does not make sense to me. How did she get into the apartment if it wasn't hers? Where did the key come from to let her in? Then I read after, how it is with the media. You read so many different stories. Everybody's spinning a different story.
And not only that, a lot of the media just jumps on something without even doing their homework.
Exactly. So like one of the stories I read, it said that it didn't even say she knocked on the door. It said that he opened the door. So I was like, okay, that's a possibility. But then after reading some information today, they said that, okay, so what you said all along was you believed that they were dating each other.
They were having an affair or dating or,
And this,
something physical
right.
was going on.
And this was her excuse. Apparently something happened and she was angry and this was her excuse. So I was like, no, I don't think so. Although I still didn't know details. But then today they said that neighbors were spoken to and they said that they heard banging on the door, telling her to open this.
I even heard, because there's so many stories, right, that one of the neighbors, suggested that she was drunk.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that wouldn't have been after work.
That's why they're trying to
That'd
figure
have been way
out
after work.
They're trying to figure out the story because she claimed she came home after work and other people are saying that she had been out drinking.
Right.
But for somebody to bang on the door and say, open the door.
Open that damn door.
Right. That doesn't sound like somebody who mistakenly
right?
entered a wrong apartment. So, and then she shot and killed this man who was a man of promise. He was successful. He was a businessman.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was a young, African-American guy who had a fantastic career for himself, who's worked really hard to get where he got. And to go through that is, it's so, for me, it's heartfelt.
Right.
It
It's
really
sad.
is.
It's really sad.
Because like you said, it was a guy of promise.
Right.
I mean, he was, almost an angel from what they were saying.
Well,
I mean,
no,
you know what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, and he did, he did all the things right in his life.
Right.
And this is what came of it.
Sitting in his apartment.
It's just so upsetting.
Yeah.
It's so upsetting.
Anyway, so that, that was just a thought. But I wanted to give you the credit for, what you said, because I was just like, oh, that's so far-fetched, and,
Finally.
Yay!
Yay!
So
anyway. Credit.
Okay, so what else is going on?
Well, I don't know. I've been looking at some of the trending topics, but I haven't done all my research yet. Why don't you grab this phone and start looking up some stuff?
Let's see what's happening.
I know that Kanye has this now pillow suit that he has been
a pillow suit.
Kim, it's off the chain. Yeah, but no, it's a pillow suit with Lil. What's his name?
Pump.
Who?
Pump.
Yes, Lil Pump.
It's a music video.
Yeah, it was a music video. Thank you. No, it was a music video with him and Kanye in a pillow suit. So it was pretty, I don't know, innovative, I'll say.
Yeah.
So while Kim's looking that up, I'll say anybody out, I would love to know going into our next podcast, some of the things that you guys are interested in as far as trends, anything that's being trendy right now. I would love to hear it. And, I'm looking forward to our new podcast, Twitter Tuesday, that's going to go through all the, the latest and greatest of topics and what's going on out there, Ken, what'd you come up with?
Okay. Well, did you...
I love to put her on the spot. No, she's freestyling.
This is not even on here.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? I was reading something today about a guy who burned his house down. He was burning his Nike sneakers, and he mistakenly burned his house down.
You know what? What do you want me to say?
Okay, so this is how I look at it. First of all, you know how I feel about that whole controversy. But my thing is, throw them away. Why are you burning anything anyway? That's how I look at it. If I want to get rid of something, I throw it away. When do we start just burning things? Is that to prove a point? Like, who cares?
Well, you couldn't burn my sneakers. I would have to have biohazard probably come in. And, might get fined by the city.
Exactly.
But
they might throw you out of Georgia.
I know, right?
No, but seriously, I just find it funny that you spend money and you're burning your money. So, I mean, that's on you. But I just find it funny he burned his house down. How
wow.
Foolish.
So maybe that's connected to the actual commercial. Stand for something, even if it means you lose everything.
And you know what? He
There
did.
you go, sure did.
He said, "You know what? I'm standing for this, and I'll just use all."
But you
of
know
it."
what? Speaking about that, Nike's the winner. Doesn't matter, whether you agree or disagree. And there's a lot of people on every side that agrees and disagrees, right? I agree with some of it and disagree with some of it. But at the very end of the day, who's the real winner? It's Nike. Nike's the real winner, and Colin Kaepernick for getting paid for it is the real winner. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe out of all the controversy, it was a smart move on Nike's part to make money doing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the one topic I want to talk about, since we're talking about different topics today, is what was the deal? I know that you knew more about it than I did, but what was the deal with the car being pulled over, and they thought a little boy was, I guess, robbing the old grandma?
Mm-hmm.
What was the deal with that?
Yeah. Well, the cops pulled him over, and they made him get out the car. They were yelling it on the
Loudspeaker.
Yes, and they asked him to get out the car. He had to put his hands on his head, and
How old was he?
he was a teenager. He looked very young. He was just tall, but he looked very young. And
So it was a black kid with a white grandma,
right,
which is a lot of places.
exactly.
Just,
And so they had him back up and everything. They sat him in the car. They put cuffs on him.
I saw the end of it where he says, "That's your grandson."
Right.
He must have felt like a freaking
What
idiot.
happened is once everything was said and done, the cop it showed video of the cop inside the car. Not he was outside, but he was inside. Yelling, not yelling, but he was talking to the grandmother really loud, saying because they realized that it was
The grandma.
a big mistake.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, well, we were told that there were two guys in the car with a woman and they were robbing her." And he's like talking a mile a minute to get, to make them try to understand. And the grandmother, she was pleasant though. She wasn't, I think I would have been a little perturbed because you can't just assume.
Okay, what would I have said in that instance?
If you were the grandmother,
No.
you would have said,
I would have
"Hey."
said, "That's a lie." That's a lie.
Yeah.
He just made that up.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, the bottom line is we have talked about this forever. I'm not going to get too deep,
No,
but I'm going to tell you how many times we talk about racial profiling.
Right.
That's what it was. You can't say
Right.
it wasn't. You can't say it's not what it was because that's what it was.
Right.
So it was crazy, right?
Right.
Scared the wits out of the poor kid, right?
Oh, definitely. He was a baby. When you looked in his face, you could see he was young.
And I have boys, and I can only imagine that if they were with my mom, it would have been the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely
Right.
crazy. But the last topic that we want to talk about is the Hollywood elite going at it this week
Oh.
with Cardi B and Nicki Minaj.
And Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know the whole story.
Well, I tried to find a whole bunch of stuff on Twitter and places like that, but you know what? Out of all the iPhones in this world, not one of them got very good footage of the little scrap.
Right.
But Cardi B had a little something over
Oh,
her
not a little.
eye.
She had a big egg right above her eye, her left eye. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So apparently, she's had words about Nicki for a while.
Didn't they have a feud going on for a minute?
Not that I don't really know too much about this, but I just know what I was hearing and seeing today. They were talking about she had words and, she approached her. She was yelling at her and they got into it. But you know what? If that is the way it is, because I don't know, I can't say exactly what happened. But if she started the fight, she's the one that got the goose egg above her eye. So that's not good when you start a fight.
And you get whacked?
Yeah, but, I don't know. I don't think she should have messed with Nicki Minaj anyway, But that's not my thing because I don't listen to that.
Yeah,
So,
you don't fight.
I don't listen to their music, so
No, I know.
don't really care. That's just, it was just a topic that was on the news, and,
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I think it was awesome. I mean, you put yourself out there. It's your,
Yeah, but
how
you know
bad
what?
can you? Hey,
You-
let's see. Let's have a contest and see how bad we can make ourselves look on camera in front of millions of people. Good job, ladies.
Yeah, but my thing is, these people are making so much money. You have nothing better to do. Go and put all that energy into your music.
Back in the old days, that was called no home training.
It's like go do something. You know what? Go give some money to the homeless.
Go help the kids. Do something.
Go do something. But I
That's
mean, for
crazy.
real, you just have to run around the street. And then to top it off, I heard they were, wearing evening gowns. How pretty. I
That
love
was
that.
nuts.
I
Okay.
love that.
Well, you know what? I think that it's a appropriate time to wrap this thing up for today.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.